So hey guys, a few days back I made a video called the a part 4 series, which had the first one there was I told how many countries and what are they. In the second part I told about some extra celestial stuff, and then in the third part I told about the world wars. But in that, you know that Allies won the war and why Germany did lose it. So I had a theory. How can they win? Now everybody has a little theory, so I also made a theory. So in this one, I had a part 4 series. So in the first part, I'll explain how we can actually this happen. This part, as you might know. The second part, I will say how life goes like that, and in the third part I will say how it affects life, and then I'll say that it how something like how why it cannot work, something like that. So I will firstly say disclaimer alert. If your country is losing one war, I recommend you to, or your allies country anywhere. Me too, but I don't care. So I recommend another video for you. So actually, I will gonna firstly say how World War I occurred. So firstly, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia because they were attacking the only king at that time, and he didn't have an heir. So those were Serbian spies, but they weren't related to the government, but still they declared war on Serbia. But then Russia was an ally of them. That's why they declared war on Austria-Hungary. And Germany won't let that happen because he was an ally. He was an ally of Austria-Hungary, and France was an ally of Russia. And the Britain declared war on the Central Powers because they invaded Belgium. They are allies. Okay, so firstly, I'm going to say that Britain has two ways they can go through, but I will explain it on a bit. So firstly, how it occurs. So firstly, the Schlieffen Plan was the main plan to defeat them. This was the plan to attack France quickly and let them surrender, and then go to Russia and quickly attack them. But I now have a different theory. So this theory is a little bit of modified version of the Schlieffen Plan. So I'm going to say how it works. So firstly, Germany, as it goes like Schlieffen Plan, attacks France, but on an absolutely different way, because France does not have does have a lot of defenses, etc. They have to fight lots of troops. So instead of doing that, all of the bombings of Paris, London are enough to make lots of bombs, and therefore the troops will be killed if they activate at that time. And quickly they should rapidly attack them and then defeat them. France is done, but Russia has already modified the troops. They are really fast. So how they need to do another bombing over this side now. This time to block the troops from coming there. So because that would be tragic. So they will quickly let the troops go, their side's troops go, and then they will invade them quickly. In order for them to surrender, this is not the only part. They will let the Soviet Union make a civil war there, and finally when they win, you have done. Now, Britain is the only one left, only major power. I will decide about other powers such as the USA later on in this video. So, firstly, they will have two ways, I told you. The first way is, on the first time you will have to just be in the beginning not invade Belgium and ask a permission to let them the troops go. And the second one is more likely a civil war. That was the plan of Hitler. But this is World War One. If they manage to thought about that, they will manage to make a civil war. Now the only ones major I will talk about is left is now France's colonies. Now after the civil war has done, you can easily beat them. Now I will talk about the other powers who central powers join. Firstly, this region is already there, so we have do not focus about it. Many of the colonies will be German, just like that. So firstly that the central powers will defeat France as expected, and then they will have to defeat the USA and Greece. Greece is one of their allies. So firstly, you need to be cautious about this. After defeating Serbia by the help of Bulgaria, splitting them just like our timeline, you will have to go towards there. You will have to go there. Now in alternate history, which is what I'm talking about, it's pretty good idea to defeat the Greece, but on a different way. As you might know, Ottoman Empire is simply will invade Greece. This is it after European battlegrounds. Now you will need to defeat Japan. I guess Japan would be a super big problem until maybe Japanese empire strike somehow. Okay, no need. You can defeat them because of the Soviet Union. You'll just say them. You'll just let them take this part of your territory, and maybe they will agree. So if this is enough, how to defeat the USA? So firstly, you will have to cautiously understand what the situation is going on. Germany knows that defeating the war is not easy when it comes to the USA. So firstly, what occurs in the Atlantic waters? In the Atlantic waters, I guess no blockades will be held because otherwise USA will make more more attacks, So what to do firstly? The first, just like first steps of colonialism, you need to firstly go quickly over this area, over the South Atlantic, not the North Atlantic, because there are lots of US submarines and etc. there, so it will be harder. And don't forget about Panama. Panama has a US canal, so it can become really dangerous if you come super close to there. So say somewhere like the east coast of Brazil's waters. It is more easier to stay there rather than other things. So firstly, if you manage to stay there, if you manage to already go there, you should now rapidly go to the North Atlantic. But now you need to quickly use Albert Einstein's and other scientists that are living in you to make some kind of discovery, such as, I guess, hydrogen bomb or dirty bomb. Dirty bomb is a stuff like, no, it isn't full with dirt. Okay, a dirty bomb is almost like a nuclear weapon. If you are UN, you might be trying to ban this. If you are anybody from UN, you might be trying to ban this, because this is same. You can just modify a nuclear weapon, and instead that the nuclear waste will all go up into space, it will thrive the ground. This is the only difference between a nuclear bomb and a dirty bomb. So maybe USA won't be happy seeing a few mushroom clouds Okay, whatever. Okay, so you must firstly know which region, any major city, Philadelphia, New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, you name it, any densely populated area, any business center, which is really important for you. Now, there are mostly the world is central powers now, so Argentina is an ally because many of the troops also attack there. You need to first also think who you need to make. A few dirty bombs won't be enough for the US to surrender. So add Mexico to the flavor. Now there was a letter of Mexico sending to Germany saying, if you give us the old territories which US brought back to them, you will also, if you brought back to them by war, I will also help you in the war. So actually this letter was trapped in a UK region and then sent to the USA that they will declare war on evidence of that. But in this alternate timeline, this never occurred. So Germany agrees, and then Mexico, bam, made itself central powers. Now it is going pretty good on the war, because especially if you have this friend on America, and then you can now quickly try to invade them. But Canada will be a little hard. Maybe a few dirty bombs of this area. This is the most populated area. Yeah, it will be enough to let them surrender. Right after that, Mexico, it defeats the USA with a couple of dirty bombs too, along with the British and Central Powers, etc. They will be most likely surrender. Now, I will say a little bit how life occurs in this part 2. Firstly, the Germany will make the nuclear bomb. This will be on part 3. I will discuss it more deeply. So, Germany will make the nuclear bomb because they won't have the time. They won't be destroying any kind of Jews such as Albert Einstein, I guess. Yeah. Albert Einstein won't be actually banned or something, because World War II won't also occur. So Albert Einstein will be able to create nuclear bombs, and I'll say it about next time. So in the part 2, I will explain how life goes like that, and I will also say a few scientific things, but not so much deep. So bye bye guys. See you next time, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell.